Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm Monalisa Medhi, Assistant Professor of Dr. R.K.B. Law College, Dibrugarh, Assam. Welcome you to the Certificate Training Program on Consumer Rights and Filing Grievances on the occasion of World Consumer Rights Day, organized by IQAC in collaboration with Nyaya Sarathy of Dr. R.K.B. Law College, Dibrugarh. Every year, 15 March is celebrated as World Consumer Rights Day. This day was inspired by the speech of former US President uh, John F. Kennedy gave a speech on consumer rights on 15 March 1962 while speaking at the US Congress. And from this day, the 15 March is celebrated as the World Consumer Rights Day. The object of this program is to make awareness, consumer aware regarding their rights and to fight against unfair and unjust trade practices of producers and trade and sellers. These are the main object of this program. And on this occasion, the college, the Nyaya Sarathy of this college, going to organize this certificate program. And today we are gathered here to celebrate this World Consumer Rights Day by this training program. And we have two resource persons. The first resource person is Srimanta Bordoloi, and the second is Shilpi Gupta, Assistant Professor of Dr. R.K.B. Law College. And firstly, it is an honor and privilege to Mr. Srimanta Bordoloi as a resource person with us. He is the visiting faculty of Dr. R.K.B. Law College. He did MBA from Dibrugarh University, engineering in mechanical engineering from Assam Engineering College, Guwahati University, LLB from Dr. R.K.B. Law College, Dibrugarh University, and postgraduate diploma in supply chain management from Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning. He has technically competent professional experience across production, manufacturing, performance management, TPM project management, factory administration, manpower management, compliance, technical support, and safety. Today, he delivered lecture on the topic of Consumer Protection Act 1986 versus 2019 and Consumer Protection Authority. Over to you, sir. Due to some technical problem, we take some time. We would like to start it shortly.
Srimanta sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Srimanta sir? Srimanta sir? Srimanta sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
No, I am directly talking to the resource person, Mr. Srimanta Bordoloi. Yeah, I think there is some technical issue from his side. That's why I'm trying to communicate with him.
Hello. Hello, anybody is there?
Hello.
Yes, sir, I am here. Yes, sir, I am here.
Uh, it is
Hello.
delayed.
Sir, there is some technical issue. We are trying to resolve it. We are trying to resolve it as soon as possible. Sir, it will take a few seconds, sir.
We
Yeah,
should
the
stay
resource
tuned.
persons.
We
The
should stay
resource
tuned.
person.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Uh, can you, am I audible?
Yes, Srimanta sir, you are audible.
Sorry for the inconvenience caused. Hello and welcome to this seminar. And thank you for your time for this seminar. And in spite of having a busy schedule, you are coming to this session. So I welcome you all. And in this session, I will basically cover a few of the important aspects of consumer rights and the related to the grievances that generally a consumer encounters. So we'll come over the act that we have right now, as well as some important terminology under this act, and also some important the element of this is the Central Consumer Protection Authority. So in this session, we'll cover this part, and the second in the second session, the remaining portion will be taken care of. We know that every day we go for to buy some goods and services in our day-to-day life. Whenever we buy, we pay, and in return we need some satisfaction while we are purchase something or take services. So, but sometimes we may not feel satisfied with the product that we buy. This also we are not satisfied with the after sale services. It was not expected as per our expectation. So this is a common problem for everybody, but our silent voice, or as we are not aware of our as a consumer, as our duties, and the methodology how we can resolve this problem as a consumer, sometimes we stuck somewhere. So this is the consumer problems or consumer dissatisfaction is a universal phenomenon, irrespective of the places where we are living. So this problem may be related to the poor quality of the product, or it may be the against the claim they have done by the service providers, or maybe the claims given by different products. So this may, in this poor quality, or maybe the overcharging of the product or services, then the lower quality of the contents, and sometimes the major player is the misleading advertisement. Whenever we open any digital media or the print media, whatever it is, the claim made by different products or different services by different organizations are so high that the expectations of the consumers always remains at the beyond the limit of our imagination in certain products. But what happens in reality when we go for that product or the goods? We it never comes to our expectation even to the optimum level. In such situation, what happens? The consumers, the dissatisfaction remains an unsolved issue, and these are the problem that we are facing. And because we are not aware about the rights of a consumer, we don't know up to what level we should feel that this is inconvenience to us, and whom we will talk, and what are the systems which will give us the justice. So there are different acts prevailing in all over the world. So but here we are concentrating on, will focus only the Indian perspective. As a consumer, we are consumers, we are not the customers, because there's a difference between consumer and customers. Because most of the people in our day-to-day life, they buy to consume only. They don't use that the product and service what they are buying, not for the commercial use. They use for their own purposes. So customer and consumer, these differences, sometimes we feel that just buying is the ultimate this objective of ourselves, but in return of the buying we must get the satisfaction, or it must meet the minimum level of our expectation. So all these issues has been addressed in Indian perspective earlier by the Consumer Protection Act 1986, and now the Consumer Protection Act 2019. So the Consumer Protection Act 2018 has done a wonderful job considering the situation arising at that time and the prevailing business and the socio-economical situation. But time has changed a lot. Due to the globalization and the coming different service providers or the companies all across the world, we are now living in a global village. The service provider may be staying somewhere else in the world, and we are getting his or her service here sitting in some other places. In such a situation where we are living in a global society, sometimes we buy the product or services, but we are not aware to where we will resolve our problems or the grievances. In such situation, this Consumer Protection Act 1986 had a limitation, and the limitation was because there was no separate regulator at the time, and the consumer complaint, the filing of consumer complaint was one of the issues. And also the product liability, what is important term that I'll take care in the defining the important terminology. The product liability was not there before, and also the pecuniary jurisdiction were having the limitations. So now we are living in a digital world. Every buy we are doing with a click of the mouse or a button. So in the vast ocean of e-commerce, this problem, when it has noticed by the previous act, there was no clue where to go. So, but considering that aspect, this new law has come into the picture to address this situation. Also, the grievance addressal mechanism and the giving the justice, the process was very slow at the time. So it was taking more time. But now the many changes has come into the picture, and as a result of that, this problem or giving the justice to consumers now is a speed process, and not going through the conventional methodology of going to the court. It is adopting the method of our alternate dispute resolution. It's a faster and quicker solution to the consumers, so that the customer or consumer gets his justice on time as per their expectations. So this is the background of the new Consumer Protection Act 2019, which is giving us to uphold our rights as a consumer and settling our issues in a systematic and a faster and swifter manner. So this Consumer Protection Act came into effect in the year 2020, and it empowers the consumers and helps them in protecting their rights through its various notified rules and provisions. This is an act to provide for protection of the interests of the consumers and for the said purpose to establish authorities for timely and effective administration and settlement of consumer disputes, and for the matter connected therewith or incident thereto. So the main objective of this to overcome the shortcoming of Consumer Protection Act 1986, to address the myriad and constantly emerging vulnerabilities of the consumers in modern marketplace, which contains a plethora of products and services. There is no end of limit of our service and products in the market. So whatever you want, it is available in the system. It is so complex in nature that for a common consumer, it becomes difficulty in having a product and whether this product is right or wrong. And after buying the product, whether it is meeting his or her expectation, that is another question. But if not meeting the expectation, how grievances can be addressed. All these issues were very difficult and critical situation. To overcome this huge complex of problems in today's world, this act seeks to advise us or achieves the objective that the customers or consumers interest is protected. So in an era of globalization and e-market, apart from the ample opportunities, it has rendered the consumer vulnerable to new forms of unfair trade and unethical business practices. So unfair trade and unethical businesses, these are one of the core area where the consumers is protected through this act. And in such situation, consumer protection, although it is a challenge, but it gives a ray of hope by this act of 2019. The another objective of this consumer protection, this act is to establish a consumer protection authority to promote, protect, and enforce the rights of the consumer. We'll come what are the rights of a consumer as defined by this act later on. The objective is to envisage the provisions of product liability on account of harm caused to consumers due to defective product or by deficiency in the services, to settle grievances by using various provision of alternate dispute resolution mechanism. And last one is a simplification of the consumer dispute adjudication process of the consumer redressal agencies. In a nutshell, we can say that the main objective is to provide the public benefit, to provide the remedy to the consumers' grievances, and this act tries to recognize the rights of a consumer, and the remedy is cheaper. It will not be cost, it is not high cost affairs. It is trying to build in a system so that the remedial process involves lesser money, and at lesser money faster is the solution. So to have that, the objective of this act to create some special machinery and make the process simplified. So this objective of this act, I'm just repeating one more time, to give the public the benefit. Second is to provide the remedy. Then to recognize the rights of the consumers and to provide cheaper remedial methods with a special machinery through a simpler proceedings so that this everything takes lesser time. So these are the objective in mind. This Consumer Protection Act 2019 is now in place. So now I'll go to in a quick some important terminology, but there are lots of terminologies are there, terms are there. So I'm not going to go everyone. I feel that these are the important terms which we must know as a consumer. Because I feel that whether our professions are different, whether we are student or whether we are a service holder or whether we are, but as a common citizen, everybody buys something to consume. So as a consumer, we must understand our own definition. As per this act, consumer is defined as a person who consumes or uses any goods or services. It is not confining only to the goods or product. It also includes the services that can be availed from the market. So goods may be consumable like what we eat, what we have every day, wheat, flour, salt, sugar, etc. Or durable items like television, refrigerator, mixer, bicycle, cars. It's a endless. There's no end of it. There's a lots of products that is available in the market. And the second, services may be like our utility services, like our electricity, cooking gas, telephone, transportation, film, so etc. So there are lots of services that we encounter in day-to-day life, and we cannot live without those services. So normally it is the consumption or use of goods and services that makes the person to be called as consumer. But in the eyes of law, what the person who buys any goods or hires any services for consideration, that is against the price, and the one who uses such goods and services with the approval of the buyer are termed as consumer. So it is not only the buyer, it also involves the person who consumes. It may be anybody. I am citing one example. Like when my father buys an apple for me, it is not that my father consumes. I consume, my family consumes, everybody consumes the product, that is the apple. That means here my father is also a consumer, I am also a consumer, and also every member of my family are consumers. So this definition now broadened a lot. Means before only the buyers was considered as a consumer, now anybody who is used that product is within the definition of this consumer will be covered. In other words, even the buyer of goods and services, whether he uses them himself, purchases them for consumption or use by some other person, is treated as consumer in the eyes of law. However, a person who buys goods for resale, that is for suppose the retailers, the wholesalers, they are for any commercial purpose, they are not the consumers, they are the customers. So a definition of consumers has said the anyone who buys some product or services for his use and for the others are, as per the definition, it's a consumer. But the question lies there that if it is for only for consumption purpose, then only it is consumer. But it is for the commercial purpose, then it will not be, it is out of the definition of the consumer. We must know about this because generally we think that if I buy somebody, then I am a consumer. But no, who are using it, that particular product, all covers within the definition of the consumer. The second is the complainant. Complainant means who can give the complaint, like a consumer, the person who buys the service or product, or who other person also who uses those products or services, they can be termed as a complainant. Secondly, any voluntary consumer association registered under any law for the time being in force, any consumer forums or any institution or association which are registered, those can also be considered as a complainant or who can file complaints. Another is the central government or any state government. They are also considered as a complainant in this definition. The central authority or one or more consumers where there are numerous consumers having the same interest. The basic crux word is the same interest. Many consumers may be formed together and they can, if they have the same interest, they can also file the complaints. So in case of a death of a consumer, his legal heir or legal representative, or in case of a consumer being a minor, his parent or legal guardian can also be a complainant. So complainant may be the consumer, maybe a consumer association, maybe the central and the state government, or maybe any other central authority, or maybe the many consumers coming together, or maybe after death of any consumer, the legal heir or the legal representative. And the last one, if there's a minor in that situation, if consumer is the minor in that situation, the parent or the legal guardian can be considered as a complainant. Then what is complaint? The complaint, as a definition says, there are particularly 3 points are important to be considered while we are defining complaint. Number one, if the complaint is against an unfair trade practice or restricted trade practice, if it is adopted by any trader or a service provider. So unfair trade and restricted trades. Unfair trades, we are not expecting in a society where we are considering trade as is for the consumers or for the people who consumes it. So the unfair means which is not to be taken, should not be done. If it is done, then against that the complaint can be lodged. The second one, the goods bought by him or agreed to be brought by him suffer from one or more defects. Suppose something is claimed, but we have found that there is so for example, if I have brought some product, the cover has been damaged, if the container is damaged or sealing is damaged, if it is smelling. So if there's many issues, those are considered as different defects that we have. If the product that we brought is having that particular defect, then there can be a possibility to raise a complaint. Similarly, the services that are hired by different people for different purposes from a service providers, and if it is not meeting the agreed condition or the condition that is claimed to give through advertisement or maybe through the agreements, But if it is not coming to the expectation as per the conditions, then that service, against that service also we can lodge a complaint. That is what is saying, the services hired or availed of or agreed to be hired or availed of by him suffer from any deficiency. This says the deficiency of two types: deficiency related to the goods or deficiency related to the services. And also the number one is the if it involves unfair trades and the restricted trades. So next important term is the consumer dispute. So consumer dispute means a dispute where the person against whom a complaint has been made denies or disputes the allegation contained in the complaint. If I am a consumer, if I am lodging a complaint against the service provided by some XYZ service provider, if he does not agree with my complaint, in that situation, the consumer disputes arise. So this is a very simple definition. The next definition is the consumer protection. So I am a consumer and it is essential to protect myself by different means, and to have that we must understand the proper definition of consumer protection. So consumer protection means is the safeguarding the interest and the rights of the consumers. It is self-explanatory. In other words, it refers to the measures adopted for the protection of consumers from unscrupulous and unethical malpractices by the business, and to provide them speedy redressal of their grievances. It is not saying that only the taking the complaint is not enough. It also leads to the solution. That means the speedy redressal of the grievances of the consumer is covered under the definition of consumer protection. Now questions that what are the need for consumer protection? Because need for the consumer protection involves many important points. For example, it's a social responsibility. Second is increasing the awareness. The consumer satisfaction, traders should treat consumer as God, because if consumer is such an important element in the total supply chain that we cannot ignore the importance or the rights of the consumers. The trader or the service provider must understand this pertaining point. And it is also important from the principle of social justice. It is important from the principle of trusteeship and the survival and growth of the business. So if you want to have these important elements, we must go for the consumer protection. And it ultimately helps in the sustaining the business and leads to the growth of an individual, growth of a service provider. John F. Kennedy, the former United States of America president, has given the message to the consumer on March 15, 1962. He said that there are 4 rights are there for the consumers. These rights are the right to safety, then the right to be informed, then the right to sue, and right to be heard. That means whatever we buy, whatever service we take, whatever product we buy, it must be safe for use. And whatever the service provider or the product is giving to the consumer, it must be informed to all. We cannot hide any information related to the product that we are consuming. It may be related to the health, it may be related to the commercial aspect, it may be related to the ingredient, it may be the benefit that will come up from that particular product. Every information must be clearly placed in order. For example, we have seen in our everyday product, we get all the commodities we are using, maybe the fast moving or whatever it is. In everywhere, you can see that every informations are ingredients, all informations are available in the product. And also it has provides some for a product where we consume, like our MSDS, like material safety data sheet, all informations and the methodology or the instruction how to use and the related the safety issues that may come, all informations are clearly mentioned in this product. Otherwise what happens, This is a right as per John F. Kennedy, it says. And also, the consumer has the right to sue and also right to be heard. And today is World Consumer Rights Day, and I congratulate to each and every participant who are here now, that today is the day where we must celebrate our rights as a consumer. And January 24th is a National Consumers' Right Day. So consumer right, whatever it has been said by John F. Kennedy, if we can see in the definition of our Consumer Protection Act 2019 also, it has provided the same right to consumer in a little bit elaborately. That is the right to safety, right to be informed, right to sue, right to be heard, and right to seek redress against unfair trade practice or restricted trade practices, and the right to consumer awareness and represent. So these are the rights that is given by the Consumer Protection Act 2019. So these are definitions. So I will, due to the time of constraint, so I will not go in details each and every definition, but I can try to tell you the important ones. Like a right to safety means a consumer has the right to safety against goods and services it has provided in terms of hazard involved in it to his health, life, and the property. So similarly, the right to be informed or right to be representation, and consumer has also the right that he should be provided with all the information on the basis of which he decides to buy goods or services, because there are many of the similar products are available in the market. There are many similar services available in the market. I have to choose a particular from particular service provider or maybe a manufacturer, because I have to choose from out of many that is available in the system. How I should choose? I will choose depending on the information provided by the service provider. That is my right. I must ask to the service provider or the sellers to let me know about the information, each and every information what I feel. If something within the exceptions that is not covered here, but all the probable information, it is the duty of the sellers and also the service provider to inform to the consumers. Then the right to choose. A consumer has the absolute right to buy any goods or services of his choice from among the different goods or services available in the market. So in other words, no seller can influence his choice in an unfair manner. So that's why it is advertisement plays a big role. In many a time, they are misleading advertisement. And no advertiser can forcefully say about a product, claim a product to influence one person unethically or maybe through unfair trade manners. Similar to right to be heard, a consumer has the right that his complaint to be heard. Under this site, consumer can file a complaint against all those things which are prejudicial to his interest. So this is important that everybody as a consumer can say about their voice, and the consumer voice, that is the Jago, Grahak Jago, this voice, whenever it will come out, everybody must listen to the voice of the consumers. And it is a right of a consumer that everybody must to listen to him. Next, the right to seek the addressal. So this is the right provides compensation to the consumers against unfair trade practices to the seller. For instance, if the quality and the quantity of the product do not conform to those promised by the seller, the buyer has the right to claim compensation. Several redressals are available to the consumer by way of compensation, such as free repair of the product, taking back of the product with refund of money, changing of the product by seller, and so there are lots of measures, remedial methodologies that it is available in the system. Next is the right to the consumer education. So consumer education refers to the educating the consumer constantly with regard to their rights. In other words, consumers must be aware of the rights they enjoy against the loss they suffer on account of goods and services purchased by them. Government has taken several measures to educate the consumers through different, maybe through publishing different advertisement, through maybe the seminars, through the different street plays and all, or maybe the going to school and colleges and the institution to bring about a sea change in the understanding of the consumer rights. So it's a continuous process. With the advancement of the science and technology, this awareness campaign is now taking a different level. Now people are much more aware, the consumers are much more aware about their rights. They not only know about the rights, they also know about the how they have to address their the grievances. So coming to the next terminology is the defect. Defect means any fault, imperfection, or the shortcomings in the quality, quantity, or standard which is required to be maintained by or maybe or by any other law for the time being enforced or under any contract express or implied or as is claimed by the trader in any manner whatsoever in relation to any goods or product, and the expression defective shall be constricted accordingly. So it is a definition. This is anything not in standard, anything which is having a shortfall, anything which is not up to the claimant. So all will come under the definition of the defect. So defect deficiency means any fault, imperfection, shortcoming, or inadequacy in the quality, nature, and the manner of performance. So which is required to be maintained. So these are the deficiency maybe include in any act of negligence or omission or commission by a person which causes loss or injury to the consumers, and the deliberate withholding of information, the hiding of the information or not providing to the information by such person to the consumers. They are also coming as a within the definition of deficiency. So important another point was the product liability that I have mentioned earlier. That product liability means the responsibility of a product manufacturer or product seller of any product or service to compensate for any harm caused to consumer by such defective product manufactured or sold or by deficiency in services related to it. So this is one point we must discuss a little bit, because product liability involves that if I as a consumer use some product and that product it may lead to the damage or the injury may of any type. It is maybe the physical injury, it may be related to the injury related to the health, it may be injury to the damage of the property. Suppose we have purchased a particular fire extinguisher, and the main objective of the fire extinguisher is to extinguish the fire in the time of emergency. Suppose the information also was provided in that the product, and it also mentioned about the date of the manufacturer and the date of expiry, and also it has given that the different period of time where the inspection is required to that fire extinguisher. And accordingly, the service provider comes in a periodic manner to maintain the fire extinguisher. But what happened? Unfortunately, the fire taken place, and purchased the product has tried to extinguish the fire extinguisher. But what has happened? That unfortunately, the fire extinguisher did not work, and as a result the entire office cabinet has been burned and many properties lost. So ultimately this has happened due to the defect of the product. Now the product liability says the amount of product, the amount of damage that has been done because of not working the fire extinguisher, the loss factor or the loss element, the service provider also has the liability involved in this loss. That means only selling the product here does not mean that the liability of the seller ends. It says that the damage it has been created due to the malfunction, created due to the non-working, created due to different product related issues. It is the service provider is liable for this. So we must understand that in our day-to-day life, if something happens because of the product that we are using or consuming, it may be the service or it may be product, then we have the right to claim, considering the angle of the product liability of the sellers or the service providers. This was a very important term that is there, and this is the provision of this was not available in the previous Act of Consumer Protection Act 1986. This is a new element or added point in the system. The next important point that of this session that I want to share with you all is Central Consumer Protection Agency. Authority, sorry. The Central Consumer Protection Authority is one of the important element that has been come in this act. So the Consumer Protection Act 2019 establishes the Consumer Protection Authority, whose primary objective is to promote, protect, and enforce the rights of the consumers. So the sole aim of this authority is to promote, because consumer must know about their right. Each and every citizen of the country has the right to know about their rights as a consumer. They should know the different system available in the domain of this Consumer Act 2019, so that we can provide justice, we can provide fair service, we can provide an environment where consumer feels they are satisfied, they are delighted, they are happier what the product they are getting or servicing they are enjoying. So it is empowered to conduct investigation into violation of the consumer rights and institute complaints and the prosecutions. It can order or recall of any unsafe goods and services. If some goods are not safe to use, we can remember one product of the Maggi, which is a common food, and it's a darling to the youngsters or the children. So Maggi was have taken back from it because it was considered that the product was not good. So the Central Consumer Protection Authority has the right to recall any product or any services which the system says are not safe for use by the consumers. Similarly, it can give order to the discontinuation of the unfair trade practices and misleading advertisement. There are lots of advertising is available in the system, maybe in the digital media, maybe in the print media, maybe through in an unorganized manner, maybe in an organized manner. Lakhs of rupees has been invested claiming the benefit of the products without having the authenticity of the product. So if these things happens, consumer feels that it will give the benefit at a cheaper rate. They may think that they are getting solution for a problem they are having right now experiencing. Ultimately, these are unethical, unfair trade practices. The Central Consumer Protection Authority can order discontinuation of these practices. And also they have the right to impose penalties on manufacturers, endorsers, publisher of the misleading advertisements. So before it was advertisement, and these were only the media to selling a product. Now nobody can use an advertisement as a tool to propagate some misleading information which can influence the consumers. So the main Central Consumer Protection Authority always like a watchdog to address these particular important points. And the central authority shall consist of chief commissioner and the commissioners, a team of subject matter expert, because the consumer has a various type of systems, because one product is not similar to the others, one service is not similar to the others. So for example, if I am buying a refrigerator, there must be an expert who knows about this machine and technology. At the same time, if I'm buying something like your rice or maybe the flour or something, then he will be required an expert in the agriculture or food products. Similarly, somebody is taking the for the services of some other issues. There must be an expert who knows about the system, because one person expert may not know the every product and every services against whom the consumer has lost your complaints. So this commission, this authority must have subject matter experts and the professional bodies which can give the inputs to while handling a grievances. So, and the investigating agency or the wing is led by the Director General. The powers of CCPA or the Central Consumer Protection Authorities are to inquire or to get an inquiry or investigation done into cases of violation of consumer rights or maybe the unfair practices. Then to file complaints before all of the three commissions. Then the commission that will be covered in the second half, in the second session. Then depending upon the facts of the case, to intervene in the proceedings before the commission if needed. And then review the matters that relate to and affects the enjoyment of the consumer rights. Then promote and undertake research in the field of consumer rights. And also to create and promote awareness on consumer rights, to encourage NGOs and the other civil societies in the field who are working in the field of consumer rights to cooperate to protect the consumers' interest. Then issue necessary guidelines to prevent unfair trade practices. Then to issue direction and the penalties against false or misleading advertisements. To advertise the ministries and the department of the central and the state governments on consumer welfare measures. And we have already discussed to recall goods, reimbursement of the prices of goods and services, and discontinuation of the unfair practices which are prejudicial to consumers' interest, etc. These are the list of the powers that it is enjoyed by the Central Consumer Protection Authorities. And in the Central Consumer Protection Authority, there is a provision for appeal. A person, or maybe he may be a seller, maybe a service provider. A person aggrieved by any order passed by the central authority may file an appeal to the National Commission within a period of 30 days from the date of receipt of such order. So this is basically the important points of our Central Consumer Protection Authority, its power, its formation, and the 11, where it will work, and all are covered. Ultimate objective is to
e-commerce and unfair trade practices.
Yeah, after sales service also there. So all the product liability we have discussed already. Then other key points that is important, that e-commerce, that is now is in the era of e-commerce. We buy and sell product through digital platform. So the rules on e-commerce and unfair trade practice also is important. We must know about this. So e-commerce entitles us the required to provide information to consumers related to the return, refund, exchange, warranty and guarantee, delivery, shipment, modes of payment. If you can buy from any platform like Amazon and Flipkart, or maybe from any other platforms, that you will see that you get all the informations like warranty, guarantee, mode of transportation, shipping, values, and each and every cost breakups are also shown into the system and given to the consumers. Because e-commerce before it was not there, but now as the law has says to protect the right even in the digital platform, so now e-commerce is now becoming more and more stringent, and the people are also aware about the rights of the consumers. Also, the mechanism how the consumers problem can be addressed. So this says that these are necessary for enabling the consumer to make an informed decision at the pre-purchase stage. And this platform will have to acknowledge the receipt of any consumer complaint within 48 hours. That is why they provide some consumer sales, some mobile numbers, some WhatsApp numbers, or maybe hotlines which are free at any time. We can, as a consumer, connect with the service provider or the sellers. Then another key points of this issue is that they are mandatory and are not advisory, and sellers cannot refuse to take back goods or withdraw services or refuse refunds. You can see many a time we see that the buyers or the person who have bought from the digital media, they can return, they can refuse the product also, then they get the compensation, or they can refund it through maybe going to the same bank account, or maybe by giving the alternate product or some other replacing the products. Then the rules of also prohibit the e-commerce companies from manipulating the price of the goods or services to gain unreasonable profit through unjustified prices, because everything is open. There are lots of players are there, lots of service providers are there. In that situation, not a single service provider or sellers can hide relevant information, and they cannot fluctuate the price, or they can make a price which is against the interest of the consumers. So everything is open and clear. So the Consumer Protection Rules 2020 plays a significant role in supporting or safeguarding the interest of the people who deals through e-commerce or the e-commerce platforms. So in the conclusion, for this session, I just wrapping up fast, that the Consumer Protection 2019 fixes the liability on the endorser, considering that there have been numerous instances in the recent past where consumers have fallen prey to the unfair trade practices under the influences of the celebrities acting as brand ambassadors. In such cases, it becomes important for the endorser to take the onus and exercise due diligence to verify the veracity of the claims made in the advertisement to refute liability claims. It is trying to protect the utmost interest of the consumer, creating a sea or ocean of opportunities to enjoy the rights of the consumers. Previously, there were some loopholes. This act is trying to bridge out these gaps so that consumers have a clear understanding about their rights and they can enjoy. So the Consumer Protection Act 2019, in comparison to the 1986, shows that it provides for greater protection of consumer interest. So the Act also deals with the technological advances in the industry, provide for easier filling of companies. So this Consumer Protection Act is the way to give the rights to the consumers, and it gives an opening, it is giving a direction towards how the grievances that comes as a consumers to everyone in this country can take the help of this act and the different provisions that has come out. There were some loopholes, now it has been bridged. So I think we have covered one of the part of this session, and hope it was informative and interesting. And at last again, I am saying that I am very much sorry for the technical glitch that happened at the beginning of the session. And each of us as a consumer and a citizen of the country, we can contribute towards the successful implementation of this Consumer Act wherever we are, where we can influence. And if we as an Indian, everybody can do it, then the consumer right, I'm sure and certain, will be well protected and it will be in the safe hand. Thank you so much for your patience hearing and giving me the opportunity to discuss with you. So if you have any question and answers that can be addressed in the later half of the session when we will have after having a break. So thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful session. Don't leave the session because we'll continue the session because the second resource person with us and Bordoloi sir will also stay with us because he will deliver the interactive session after the end of the session, and the feedback link of the entire program will be provided by the chat box after the end of the program. That is why don't leave the session, and we'll start as soon as possible the second session because the second resource person will be with us.
Section session start at what time?
At present, sir.
From the panelists, can I ask any question?
After the end of the program, I will provide
Okay.
this opportunity.
Can I mute myself?
Okay, okay, sir. The second session will be start with short period because the second resource person with us, Mrs. Shilpi Gupta. Welcome you, ma'am. It is an honor and a privilege that Mrs. Shilpi Gupta, Assistant Professor of Dr. R.K.B. Law College, with us as a resource person for this session, for this training program. She has qualified NEET and presently pursuing PhD from USTM Meghalaya. Mrs. Gupta has been experienced 10 years or more than 10 years experience of teaching, and she has presented papers in national and international seminars. She has published articles in different journals. She has also been appointed as resource person in Dibrugarh Consumer Commission for imparting training on New Consumer Act 2019. Moreover, she has also been a speaker in various institutions and organizations to deliver on various topics like cyber law, consumer protection, law protecting rights of women, etc. Today, she delivered her lecture on the topic of procedure, filing and disposal of consumer complaints. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to be a part of such a program in which we can create awareness regarding consumer. So already the initial part of definitions and the object of consumer has been very nicely delivered by the first resource person. So without moving to that part, I will just go to the procedures and the contents of my lecture is given here. So I will cover many times one question is often asked, often raised, that whether I will cover under this act or not, whether I am a consumer or not. So the first topic which I will cover here is coverage of the act over whom. Then it will be what is the redressal mechanism, what are the types of redressal mechanism available where we can file such dispute. Then it comes the jurisdiction. Then another question comes, who can be the complaint? Is it a person only who has purchased any goods or obtained any services, or that can be any other person also? Then what is the procedure of filing before commission? A very newness already, I think this word has been mentioned by the first resource person as mediation. How the thing is referred, when the thing is referred, when the entire complaint is referred to mediation, then the procedure which is followed by the commission. What is the type of order which the commission may pass, that is finding, then the appeal, certain offences and penalties, and at last I will just put light upon what are the new features which has been introduced in the act. So the first slide is about what is the coverage of the act. So already in the definition of consumer, it has said the act covers any person who buys any goods or has availed any services for his self-consumption. So the word self-consumption itself means that the person should be a beneficiary, or he or she should be the end consumer. Today's in the growing economic setup today, thousands of transactions is going on. So this act has also included within it the online transactions, which includes teleshopping either through commercial websites. So all these, the consumer is not only just a person who goes and buys any product from shop, but online is also covered under his act. But other thing is very important, because many times a person who buys goods for commercial purpose also thinks that he is a consumer. So this act has particularly clarified that anyone who purchases goods for commercial practices or for resale, either he being a wholesaler or retailer, so that at that point of time he cannot consider himself to be the consumer. So it is very important that the consumer should be the person who consumes the goods for his or on his behalf, anyone consumes the goods. So that is end consumer. Now another, the most important thing which the Act has very nicely framed under its provision, and through this norm, I have tried, through this pyramidal structure, I have tried to explain here that there are three tier of mechanism. The lowest is district commission, which is set up by the state government in every district, where a person can file its grievances Then the state commission, state government establishes in every state commission under section 42, where the grievances can be filed, and then the highest is the national commission under section 53, which is considered to be the top of this particular pyramidal structure. Then the particular different where to file a complaint. So whether it is a district commission or it is a state commission or it is a national commission, it depends upon what the value of the goods or services which a person is available. That is termed as jurisdiction. So there may be pecuniary jurisdiction, there may be territorial jurisdiction or subject matter jurisdiction. So the Act has clearly laid down in section 34. So in these slides, you will see a comparative analysis type I have kept so that a person can understand that how the three-level mechanism is working. So the first under section 34 is the district commission. So if the value of the goods is up to 1 crore rupees, then value of the goods or the services which has been availed and found deficient or defective, then in that case, if the value of the goods is above 1 crore rupees, then the district forum is up to 1 crore rupees. The district commission is the proper place where the complaint can be filed. If the pecuniary value of the goods is between 1 to 10 crore, then it will be filed in the state commission. And finally, if it is above 10 crore rupees, then it will be filed on a national commission. So another thing, where to be filed, this was the pecuniary jurisdiction. Another thing, what is the territorial jurisdiction, where to be filed? So opposite party, where he resides or where he carries on business, or he is having a branch office, or he personally works for gain, that place, in that place, within that jurisdiction, the consumer case can be filed. Secondly, where the particular transaction or where the services have been availed, that is the where the incident had happened, that is cause of action. Either wholly or in part, it can be filed in that place also where the cause of action arises. Then where the complainant resides. So in order to mitigate the problems which has been which the consumer may suffer by going in a particular place and filing, by going in the place of opposite party and filing there, this Act has also given a privilege to the complainant where the complainant resides or he works. That means the opposite party is also not residing there, the cause of action may not be there, but the complainant resides. In that place also, the case can be filed. Okay. Now, another thing, who can file a complaint? So it is whether, now at the starting only I put this question, who, many times it comes that whether a person is a proper person who can file the complaint. So it is not that it is only the consumer, and a consumer can definitely file it. But along with that, the Act has also kept it open for any recognized consumer association to file a complaint if any such he has a notice of any unfair trade practices or services which has been going on. For that also, the consumer can file the consumer association on behalf of the consumer can also file a complaint. Suppose if there is more than one, numerous consumer means if there are more than one consumer, and it is not possible, other consumers are not willing, some are willing. That means one person with the permission, one consumer among them with the permission of the commission, be it a district commission, state commission or national commission, can on behalf of them file a complaint. Lastly, central government, central authority or state government are also have the right to file a complaint in the consumer forum if any such practices has been going on. Similarly, this Act, as already I think in the last slide of the first resource person, e-filing system, I think he has already covered that. This is a very new provision which has been added in 2019. This e-filing, there are various government websites, there are various government platforms where a person can directly, by registering himself, he will, like any the registering process where OTP is received and all. With that, a person can also file, can also through e-Dakhil can file his complaint in the consumer forum. Obviously, the payment of fees is mandatory whether he is filing an online or he is filing an offline. The payment of fees, whatever prescribed fees is given, the prescribed fees, again, what is the prescribed fee? That question comes. So it is already given a minimum and maximum prescribed fees regarding the district. What will be the prescribed fees? It depends upon the value of the goods. On that value, it is calculated. So that in that way, a person will have to deposit the prescribed fees. Okay. So now the procedure, what the it is also very important for us to understand what procedure does the commission follow, because until and unless we are aware of the procedure, I don't think that consumer rights is actually, we are knowing our rights. Just knowing that we are a consumer, we can file the case as a consumer is not sufficient. According to me, it is very important to understand also what are the procedures with the commission follow, so that the entire system can be very, very transparent to us. So firstly, what comprises of the commission? So one thing I want to refer here as proceedings before commission, I have mentioned in this slide. This commission will refer the three commission, that is the district commission also, state commission also, and the national commission also. However, there are some very minute changes which I will say, like what are the changes or what are the minute differences. I will time to time I will refer that also. So like what does this commission comprise of? There shall be a president and at least one member who conducts the composition of the president at the district level is president and along with it 2 members. Similarly, in state commission, there are 4 members along with the president, and national commission also 4 members along with the president. So now coming to what happens if we practically want to file a complaint. So what is the procedure? What happens? That I will try to depict here through these slides. So firstly, the president along with one member will conduct the proceeding. It will entertain the petition and it will decide upon. As soon as the complaint is received, the commission will first decide that whether this complaint can be admitted or it will be rejected. This is very important because many times we think that we are covering under the act, but actual whether we are falling or not, it falls under the decision of the commission to decide. So if the commission decide that yes, this type of complaint can be entertained, the commission is a proper place where it can be filed, then it will admit. And if it thinks that no, this is not a proper place, then it may reject. However, any decisions of rejections of not allowing the complainant cannot be taken by the commission until and unless a period of opportunity is given to the complainant. So this opportunity is opportunity, definitely it complies with the principles of natural justice. Without giving an opportunity of being heard, a complaint petition cannot be rejected. The period is within 21 days, the commission shall decide that whether it is admitting or it is rejecting, not more than 21 days. So a time limit is fixed that the commission should take a decision. However, if within this 21 days also the commission is not able to take any such decision, it will be considered that the complaint is totally admitted. That means failure of taking decision within 21 days will automatically will be considered that the complaint is admitted. Okay. Then comes a very new provision which has been introduced in 2019, and that is reference to mediation. Mediation is a particular mediation is a provision in which if the commission after entertaining the petition, if the commission thinks that this matter can be settled, this matter is such which can be settled between the parties, then unnecessary putting them into a litigation procedure, taking evidence, making all those struggle and wastage of time, if there is any chances, then the commission will immediately or at the first hearing or at any stage, if the commission thinks so, the commission will ask the parties to give their consent within 5 days that whether they agree to settle their dispute on commission or on mediation or not. Now, if the parties agree that yes, we want to settle our dispute by this mediation, then again a 5 days is given, and within that 5 days they will give their consent. Parties, it is not necessary that the dispute, if referred to the mediation, as it should be settled. There is no compulsion or mandatory compulsion is not there. However, if a party, whatever it may be, the party may reach or the party may not reach. But in both the cases, the mediator will have to prepare a report and submit that report to the commission. So on the this slide, I hope this slide is visible. I tried to include the entire procedure which is taken by the commission from the starting to the end, where the entire decision from filing of the thing till the passing of the order. If this slide is not visible, if you just click on your screen, I think you can zoom it up. So one by one, I will take it. If you can zoom it, then you will see the entire slide. And if you will also, if you also want the slide to see it later on, there is no issue. I will share the slide later on after the end of this session. I will share the slide with the participant. So let us now understand what is the procedure. So first of all, in my last slide, I have just referred about mediation. Suppose a particular dispute gets settled in the mediation itself. Then settled in the mediation, that means no further, the parties are satisfied. There is no further needs of going through the entire procedure of the commission. But if it is not settled, then like the usual way of entertaining that particular petition will be carried on by the commission. So this slide, I have divided this slide into two spaces. That is, first is goods and other is services. For goods, although for goods and services, the many procedures are same, but there is still difference upon them. And through this chart, I think that difference will be easy for me also to explain to you. So first is goods. So regarding goods, if any complaint is related to defective goods, so within after entertaining that complaint, within 21 days, the commission shall send a copy to the opposite party against whom that complaint is filed. So a period is fixed, that is within 21 days it will send a copy of admitted complaint. Now again, sending a copy, and then obviously opposite party have to give a reply to the complaint which has been filed. So fixed is date is fixed regarding 30 days within which the party will have to send its reply. So however, this 30 days may be extended to 15 days. This period, however, not more than 45 days is usually given by the commission. So maximum period is 45 days. So minimum you can say it is 30. If there is certain sufficient cause, it may be extended to 15, but not beyond this days. Within this date, the complaint should have, the reply should be received by the party. Now, if on its reply, the opposite party accepts that yes, we are actually unable to provide the proper goods, or there is any defective goods, if the party accepts it, then there is no issue of further entering into other process. The commission will then pass its order accordingly, and there the consumer case is settled. It is like the decision comes, and whatever order is given by the court, it will be fulfilled. However, if the party denies that no, this particular goods, it was not our mistake, or the goods was proper, or whatever reason, if it denies, if it does not admits the allegations which has been placed upon him, then the commission may further proceed with the complaint. Now, in that proceeding, there may be necessity where the commission shall take any such step where the defective goods may be, the sample of that goods may be sent to the appropriate laboratory for testing it. Now, sending it to appropriate laboratory for testing it, definitely it is very, very crucial, because how to know that whether the goods is actually defective or it's a wrong allegation. So the party the complainant may ask the commission that we want to do a laboratory test, and the appropriate laboratory, already in the definition part it was given, the appropriate laboratory may be set by the central government, state government, and the government will have to approve that all the tests and report which is done in that laboratory will be taken, considered as a proper report. The party will have to definitely deposit the fees, because this fees will be deposited not directly to the laboratory. Fees for conducting the test, this fees will be deposited to the commission, and the commission will forward that fees to the laboratory. The report of the test of that laboratory, the report will be received by the commission itself, and after receiving that report, previous slide. Okay, so after receiving that report, again the party will take, the commission will take, the commission will not directly take a decision on the basis of report. Here another, again a principle of natural justice will come here. If the report comes, then the opposite party will be given an opportunity to be heard. If the opposite party is not satisfied, like if the party says no, the report is not accurate, or the opposite party wants to again make a laboratory test, then it is his right, which can be which the commission will pay heed to, and again a laboratory testing may be conducted. But without giving an opportunity to him to place his satisfaction upon that report, the further decisions cannot be taken. However, after that, after the report, after all the hearing the opposite party also, then the commission will be at the position to pass an appropriate order. So this procedure is entirely followed when there is any defective goods. On the other hand, in services also, if you see the chart, 21 days also it is given here. Yes, the same duration is that we will have to send the copy. Then again, reply, for receiving reply also maximum 45 days is fixed. Again, it is said that if it is accepted, then pass order. The change comes here that if the party denies, services cannot be sent for laboratory test for obvious reasons, but the evidence should be collected upon, evidence should be taken that whether the services was actually given or not, whether the services was accurate or not. So upon that, evidence will be collected in the form of filing of affidavit. The party can file an affidavit. The strict procedure of CPC is not applicable here. So to mitigate that lengthy procedure, it is said that on the basis of affidavit also the party can file its evidence. However, if the party does not file an evidence and the reply is not given, then there is no option left, and the court in that case, and the commission in that cases will pass an ex parte decree. Ex parte means without giving an opportunity, because opportunity was given, he is not presenting, is not giving an evidence, so an ex parte decision may be passed. So in this way, this is the entire procedure which is taken by the commission to dispose a particular complaint petition when it is filed. This procedure applies to district commission also. It may apply also to state commission also, and also to national commission. So so now after till here we have understood that decision will come, but what are the types of decisions which the commission will pass? What is the type of decision? What are the type of order? What will be the outcome of that decision? It is very nicely framed in section 39, which also applies to, it is not only for district, but these orders will also may also passed by the state commission and the national commission. So firstly, the order may be for removal of the defect. Regarding the goods, already it is, I have mentioned there that laboratory testing may be done for a goods. So for that goods for which laboratory testing is done, if the laboratory has marked or pointed out in its report that there is a severe defect, so the commission can ask the opposite party to remove that defect. Then suppose a goods is a defective goods has been supplied to the or has been sold to the consumer, then it can also order to replace the goods by new goods. Then if the complainant say no, they want the price, they don't want to any replacement, they want that the seller should return the entire price, then this type of order can also be passed along with the interest or charges, whatever accumulates at the time of giving the judgment. Then comes compensation to consumer for negligence, or giving or selling any type of defective services or defective goods or deficient services. It is the first thing that every seller, every manufacturer should be very much aware, that he should know that his negligence may cause impact upon the life of the consumer. So for that negligence, the consumer should be compensated. Another compensation is for product liability. Product liability definition has already been discussed by the first resource person. So product liability, generally in product liability, I would like to add one thing there, that why this product liability concept has been included in consumer. Now what happened initially when very starting, when in fact many times we see a particular, in online shopping, while we always rate one thing, that this particular online platform is better for these type of product. For example, I will give here an example. Like suppose I personally refer Myntra for purchasing any type of cloth, or for cloth especially. So that means if I just scroll and see cloths in Myntra, then I consider that cloth to be very good one. Why? Because I consider Myntra to be good. But whether Myntra is a manufacturer or or who is Myntra? Myntra is it is not a manufacturer. Myntra is a platform which gives the entire manufacturer an opportunity to bring their product in the platform where they can do the trading. So suppose a defective good has been cloth has been purchased by a person. Now a defective product is purchased. Now then I want to return it. Then I will challenge. I will just bring. I want to now bring a suit against Myntra, file a complaint against Myntra. So Myntra at that time said, we are not a manufacturer and we are not liable for that product, because it is the manufacturer will be liable. Then again I will have to file a complaint against the manufacturer. So a manufacturer will say, I don't know, we have got a platform there. So ultimately a consumer, where it will go? A confusion is created for a consumer, that what is the proper forum where I can file whether I will have to file against Myntra, whether I will have to file against the manufacturer, or against whom. So for mitigating those issues, product liability concept has been introduced. Now in this concept, it is said it is not only the manufacturer, it is the entire chain. Entire chain means be the wholesaler, be the seller, be the platform which has been given. The entire chain will have to share the responsibility for supplying, selling, forwarding any such type of goods to the consumer. For that compensation may be asked to be given by the person who has compensation may be given by will be charged upon, in this case, upon the Myntra also, not just the manufacturer. Then comes any type of suppose it may happen that the services there is no laboratory test or nothing is given. Then also one elementary question was raised by the consumer, that this goods is defective. So in that case also, without laboratory testing also, if there is on the face of it, if it is very apparent from the record that no, this good suffers from defective, then also the consumer may ask the person to remove the particular defect. Any type of unfair and restrictive trade practices which is being carried on shall be ordered to be discontinued by the commission. If there is any type of hazardous goods which is dangerous to the life and limb of any first consumer, those type of goods can also be offered to withdraw those goods from the market if it is already there on sale, not to manufacture. Another very new initiative which has been introduced by the Act is we are very much, as a consumer, as viewers of advertisement, we are very much, an impact is there upon us. Whenever we see an advertisement, we get very much, oh, this particular advertisement is showing this, so okay, so this product should be very good. So we have always form an idea that if this is advertised by this person, then the product is good. If it is advertising in that way, the product, but whether we really verify that those advertisement is really correct or not, we never. Just we see. So advertisement plays a very important role in our life, because that is the biggest way to attract the consumers. So if any misleading advertisement is given, in my next slide, I have just given certain examples where misleading advertisement is depicted. So if there is any misleading, we consumers are very innocent. They get moved with those advertisements and they purchase. What happens if it does not turn out to, the product does not turn out to be good for the person? So that in that case also, for any such type of order, to correct the, and many times it happens that advertisement is given, then you see after some time we see that advertisement changes or some lines are removed. So why it happens? Because that type of order has been given by the commission. Not to cheat the consumer is the utmost important goal of the Consumer Act. So for that, corrective advertisement or removing the misleading advertisement may be directed, and cost is also imposed upon the person. Then this misleading, I want to explain this misleading advertisement through certain examples here. If you can see this, I think you all can recognize these ads. It is first is Horlicks ad. So here one quotation they have used: 9 out of 10 children diet is deficient in essential nutrition. This particular, for this particular statement, do you really believe that 9 out of 10 children is deficient? Just because of that, everyone will just go and purchase Horlicks and give their kids. This statement was a totally misleading advertisement which has been challenged, and then the court has given an order. Because of that, this statement was removed from the ad later on. Second is about Byju's. The online has given a very, Byju's everywhere, banner is there, everywhere advertisement is there regarding Byju's. An online platform regarding this is, it will not be wrong to say that because of a situation, pandemic, which we had gone through, the Byju's like platform has has cropped up, has taken an opportunity to connect with the students. In this impact, there are many educational websites. Among them, Byju's have given an advertisement that 1 crore of the students were taking its course, and 90% of them renew their subscription. Now, whether it is reality or not, this was challenged by a case was filed against Byju's, in which it was challenged that really 1 crore students and 90% of them have really is a statement which is true or not. Later on, it was found that this is a misleading advertisement, and it was directed to Byju's to remove this particular advertisement, which is creating a wrong concept in the mind of the consumers. Another very interesting one: from the forest of Sundarbans to direct at our home, it is coming, Nasna. So I don't know, from direct Sundarbans without undergoing the manufacturing processes, how it is coming to our home. So definitely this is from the first state itself. It is they are trying to teach that Rasna is a product. The originality remains. There is no chemical used. It is very natural. But I don't believe that for storing something and undergoing manufacturing process, really it is nothing, no additions are done to this type of juices. However, it can add that it could have added various different lines, but this line, directly Sundarbans to your home, was challenged, and again this line was removed from the ad. Now, whenever we open our this TV or a Naptol, this advertisement coming up, and it is live, it is always shown, it is live, 24/7 channel always promotes this, and it shows an unnecessary scarcity, that if you are not going to purchase this, this offer is going to go away. And next day you open, then also this is showing. Then next day open, then also this. That means they are creating an unnecessary scarcity, and because of this unnecessary scarcity, this Naptol was challenged, and they were also depicting that they were going live, but actually they were not going live. And for this, they were also charged penalties for this, and removal of after this, the live LIV was reflected on their screen. This was also removed from Naptol advertisements. So these were some instances of misleading advertisement. Next. Earlier. So these are some cases, these are some type of decisions. I have not referred many cases, but through illustrations, I have tried to explain this. That, however, one is very important, Sehgal School of Competition versus Dalbir Singh. In this case, the student has deposited 2 years fees at an instance, he has deposited 2 years fee. But however, due to certain reasons, he had to change his institution. So before leaving that institution, in advance he has paid a fees. So he asked the institution to whatever fees not been consumed, whatever time he has not been stayed, and he has given an advance payment, he claimed the fees back. However, the institute declined to denied that no, we cannot reimburse the fees. So he went to a consumer forum, to a consumer commission to file a case, and then the commission has given an order directing to the institution that they will have to refund the extra fees whatever have taken. This was a very important case in which rights of a student as a consumer was protected. There are many cases in which medical negligence has been seen, and the court is continuously granting compensation in all those cases. Again, various time it happens that the bank deducts money from our credit account. Now, whether that deduction is actually validly done by the bank or it is certain system. So many times, if you notice, there are some amount which is deducted, but the amount is so less that many times we do not pay heed also to that. So, but whether that amount is actually a consumer's account, from that consumer's account, whether the deduction is proper or not. Regarding this, a particular case was also, but I have not mentioned here the case. But the incidents I have mentioned was also filed, and later on the bank was held liable in that case, that why this wrongful deduction was done to the valuable money of the consumers where it is not necessary to be done. Again, another the the Chandigarh Commission, it also held OnePlus. For the OnePlus provides a service, provided a service which was deficient. That means the service was not appropriate. The guarantee which has been given was not appropriate. And regarding that also, Chandigarh Commission has imposed a high penalty upon OnePlus for providing those type of defective services. So after this coming, what type of decision has come now? Secondly, if it happens that a particular decision of a commission, a person is not satisfied, then for that commission, appeal can be filed. Okay. So from which commission to which, in this chart it is shown, like from district commission, an appeal can be filed within 45 days to the state commission. If an order is passed by the state commission, then within 30 days, an appeal is filed to the national commission. And if it is a national commission, then again within 30 days. But here I would like to mention one thing here, that before filing, suppose I am aggrieved by an order of district commission and I want to file an appeal to the state commission. And district commission, as I am an opposite party, district commission has imposed me, suppose 1 lakh rupees has been imposed upon me to be paid to the consumer. And I am aggrieved of that. So I go to the state commission to file an appeal. So before filing that appeal, the state commission will ask me to deposit a particular amount. Now, what is that amount? That amount is 50% of 1 lakh rupees. That means whatever pecuniary value I will have to give to the consumer, 50% of that I will have to deposit to the state commission. Then only my appeal will be accepted. The same thing applies to National Commission also, and then to the Supreme Court also. Now, coming to all the decisions of appeal, it is upon the commission or the Supreme Court to dispose it within 90 days. However, if for any reason the appeal is not disposed within this period, then what will happen? Then why the appeal is not disposed, the commission will have to record it reasons, that these are the reasons because of which the commission is unable to dispose it within the period of 90 days. Now coming to penalties. Without penalties, I don't think any act like this or any right can remain protected. This act has mentioned various offences and penalties. Section 88 to 91 deals with the various types of incidences upon which the punishment is given. The central authority, which was covered by in the first session, the central authority may direct any order for removal of misleading advertisement, for saying that the endorser will be liable if he do any such type of advertisement, any direction which has given by the central authority, if it is non-complied, if it is not followed by the person who has been directed, then imprisonment may be given to him, which may extend to 6 months, or monetary value, which may extend to 20 lakhs rupees, or both. 89 deals with any regarding misleading advertisement which has been given by the manufacturer or the service provider. So this extends to 2 years of fine, and again the amount 10 lakhs. However, if the manufacturer or the service provider repeats it second time or again subsequently repeats it, then the year of will be extended to 5 years and amount will be 50 lakh rupees. Suppose any manufacturer is dealing with sale, storing or distribution of such type of goods which has imparted injury to a person, any type of injury, or if suppose there is no injury or a grievous hurt is there, or a consumer dies. In these cases also punishment is being given, which is already, I think you can see in the slide, the different punishment is given here. Similarly, a person manufacturing or distributing or importing any spurious goods, which is two things are there: adulterate, producted, and spurious goods. Already in definition sector, it was given there. These goods are dangerous to the life and liberty of the limb of the person. So it may cause injury, it may not cause injury. That is different thing. But punishment should be given because that goods has been sold or it's been offered for sale to a particular consumer. Consumer has consumed it or may not consume or is going to consume. So whatever is that, the responsibility of the manufacturer is very, very important. He should be aware that dealing in such type of adulterate or spurious goods is violating consumer rights. So penalty is given accordingly. So with I think with this the act, I have tried to cover the various aspects of this act. The new features of this 2019 act, which is in which e-filing complaint has been allowed, or suppose a particular evidence or a particular person for certain valid reason is not able to come to the consumer, a facility of video conferencing is also being introduced again on the act. Mediation, I have already mediation and product liability I have already referred. This is totally new to this particular act. And also punishment to endorser. Endorser means a person who, like various brands, when we purchase, we do not know whether that brand is good or not, but we purchase that brand seeing that one of our suppose a cricketer we like, or a actor we like, we see them, we like this actor, definitely he is endorsing a very good, he is wearing, he is putting the lotions on his body, he is using this perfume, so we are very much inspired of them, and seeing the endorser, the innocent consumer thinking that if they are using, we will also improve ourselves while using, we purchase many things. So in previous acts, endorser were actually not liable for such type of thing, but today in 2019 act, endorsers are also made liable, in which they are also punishments like they are also banned from endorsing for certain period. Penalty is also be paid. So ultimately they are also shouldered with the responsibility that we are going to endorse those products which we are really believing that products is genuine for the consumer. So with this, I think I have tried to cover the entire Consumer Act. Although within this short period of time, it may happen that some part may not be discussed in detail. But then also, I have tried, if there is any queries regarding this entire 2 session, I and the resource person is present here. So we will entertain all such questions. So with this, I complete my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to request the participants to ask their queries by using the chat box, or they can directly ask the question.
Hello,
Yes.
am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask questions?
Yes, sir.
Everything has been explained and it looks very nice on while we attending the seminar or we are as an attending as an participants, all are educated persons. But I am just want to know that in Indian scenario where everything is in detail has been given that consumer is a king, consumer is a god. But in general practice, if Indian market you will go, there is a formula caveat emptor that the buyer should be aware. This formula is prevailing. I am citing this formula because when you go to fish market or a chicken market or mutton market, as a consumer, if you get
से तो कैसे possible है?
so in that case it is not
इतना
possible.
allowed
They will
नहीं
not
है।
show you the expiry date. They are
समझ में आ गया ना
selling.
पेपर कैसे आएगा सीधी सीधा एंड में पढ़ लेना
Hello,
तो अभी चिटिंग थोड़ी ना करनी है
hello.
Yes,
बस
continue,
बस
sir.
बस
Hello,
प्लीज
hello.
बस
Kindly,
Mic mute
I
कीजिए.
have a request to other participants if they can kindly mute their
Is there any
earphones.
error? Which can I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So means I just want to in that case consumer how to handle, because when a consumer go to the take a food, street food like pani puri, vel puri and biryani, if some they get some contaminated food they get. So in that case, where he will collect the evidence and CCPA authority, and how this in this case the Consumer Protection Act balance.
Okay. Caveat emptor you have referred, isn't it? So
Yeah.
caveat emptor, this principle in Indian scenario, nothing can change in one day. That is the first thing. Because of that only, awareness camps is being instituted. Okay, many awareness to make the consumer aware, to let them know their rights. Okay, this cannot be done in one day. Caveat emptor, now it is replaced. That is, the act itself is replacing caveat emptor. Okay, so when we say replaced, it is not that suddenly something is coming and suddenly something is replacing the entire act. So it is awareness. Creating awareness is one of the space where we can know that this particular one thing you have referred about, expiry of the goods. No consumer see, isn't it? You have referred the expiry of the goods, or the consumer do not see the expiry of the goods. This is the awareness which we actually want to create, that why will we not see expiry when we are seeing a product? It is we will have to see. But if we don't see and we purchase, now what will happen? Suppose we fall ill, what will happen? Who will take the responsibility? So if then we can go to the Consumer Commission, we can file that yes, consuming this product led to me this problem. Ultimately, that particular product will undergo the lab test, and then the manufacturer will be responsible. Not the manufacturer, the retailer will also be responsible. Why they are selling an expired or adulterated product? So this is where the system goes. And regarding puchka walas and the thela walas who the foods, you can say the street, we all like street food, isn't it? Many times, many types of diseases, many types of things happens. Stomach aches is there, many problems is there. So have you seen anyone going to that thela wala again? Because no, I will not go to that because he is selling. But whether it is a packaged food, whether manufacturer name is written, whether it, so that is consumers as because they have a trust that this particular person is selling me good. So that is again a trust. So next time I will not go. You can make them liable. You can catch them. You can you can file. You cannot file a case against them because definitely aaj thela yahan lag raha, kal thela wahan lag raha. You cannot go and there is nothing like you can catch them or you can find them. There is not a, but obviously you can ask them to stop selling the particular goods because it is it is against the interest of the consumer. However, if it is a product which has a name, it is a product which has an entire, because in any packet we are purchasing, there is the contents is written, composition is written, the amount which is what is there, it is written, what type of things it is used. So if that is written, then we can go to the proper place and we can file on the basis of that commitment which the particular manufacturer has made.
No. My question is not solved. I'm talking about the chicken seller. Suppose if there's somebody, a fish seller, we go to the fish market and we, in our perception and our experience, they see the fish is okay, then we buy. But then after coming to home, then we find that it is stale and it is they are selling.
So okay, whether that seller is a registered, definitely he is registered somewhere.
No, most of them are chicken seller and fish seller.
Without
FSSI, they are selling in the market.
Without getting a license, without doing license for for selling those products. A license is taken by the district authority to undergo any type of business transaction. So definitely, if such type of license is taken by them, then
then only
it can be asked by the commission to cancel. Direction may be given to that cancellation of their license. They cannot take that business anymore. They will be asked to replace or mitigate the compensation or to give the compensation, or they may be asked to withdraw those goods. Then it can happen.
Okay.
Can I chip in there?
Yes. Yes, Srimanta, add it to me.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question and well explained by the other. I want to say one thing only that I have worked in a corporate means where FMCG were manufactured, like toothpaste and different products like powders and all the creams and all those things. As the informations are available in product as so there's a hotline is also there, there's a provision for WhatsApp is there, email is there. If some concerned consumer generally gives a complaint, then it is addressed. Okay, this is in a very formal, well structured organization. Digital platform also, we have noticed that in the Amazon or somewhere, if we have get some product not as per our satisfaction, it is also immediate or the payment has been returned back. So the things are happening now. It is going in a step by step, because if you can remember, maybe 2 years ago, even our at the grassroots level vegetable sellers, or maybe the street food people who selling foods in the streets, they were not having the expertise. They were not aware about the digitized market. So we can buy something or eat something from the street and we scan, we can do the payment by QR coding also. Now things are changing. So as correctly said by the panelists, that we cannot change the world in a single day. It's a step-by-step process. It is happening in the organized sector. Now the challenge with to the system to bring this awareness to the grassroots level. So for that, it is awareness is not only for the to the consumers. The awareness also required to the people who is providing the service or who is selling the product. So it's a two-way. It cannot be done in one side that we are making jagok, graho, jagok. And we are aware the rules and regulation systems, provision and everything. At the same time, we must also handhold to the sellers who is the street vendors and all. They most of them does not have the basic minimum education levels. So in such situation, it is a mammoth task for the all concerning authority to educate them. If we can educate them, held their hand, then definitely in due course in the coming years, like they are accepting digital payment, it will also happen. So it is a collective responsibility of all of the part of the organs of the society, including the administration, judiciary and all, to bring the awareness in every level. In such situation, definitely it will be maybe in the coming days, it will be a reality that consumer and I have seen one question, what is given the principle of trusteeship was asking. In the same context, I am just explaining
Yes,
it.
yes, sir.
Just the trust is in a trustship as per the Indian Trust Act 1882. The trustee is the person who gives the benefit to the beneficiary without having any personal interest in it. In the process, although the trustee is not responsible, but the law cannot force him, but he is doing it and ensuring the benefit to the beneficiary. But they are not the ends his responsibility. Responsibility is also there whether the benefits is giving the expected result what the beneficiary is asking. If it is not there as a part of our fiduciary relationship, then the customer or the consumer also has the right to ask for his the benefit, exact benefits. So in such situation, if I am a beneficiary or a consumer, if I'm getting a product, then the product that I'm getting from to the sellers, then seller also must know his responsibility. He must be aware of these basics that he has to do. So if we can do the both way communication, both way, if we can educate, develop the level of current understanding, and I'm very much sure and pretty sure that these type of problem that we encounter in our day-to-day life, we cannot face this problem in a mall. We are not going to face this problem in a organized shop, or we are not getting a GST holder companies or the organized or the contractors, but we will get in the unorganized sectors, which they are struggling day-to-day life to bread. Maybe they are they are not unable to manage their show properly, following the norms of the system. So I think in due course it will happen, and I feel we as an Indian should give a collective effort to make everybody aware about these consumer rights and responsibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There is another question. How does, by Avery, how does consumer awareness impact market dynamics and consumer behavior in India?
A very good afternoon to the faculty, to the panel, and to my fellow
Yes.
participants. As Dr. Shilpi Gupta has shed some light on the aspect of marketing in this seminar, and the seminar was a very informative one. So one question that came into my mind was that how does the consumer awareness impact the market dynamics and drive the consumer behavior in India? If you could briefly shed some light on it. Thank you. We as a consumer, I would like to answer this question. We as a consumer, when we go to purchase a particular product, or we as a consumer, do not go into the depth of what is marketing dynamics. Okay, we are very much like, yes, we want a product, we see 10 products, we see which one is appropriate, and then we select one, isn't it? So in that process, however, how awareness can be created in this matter is what are our rights? Right to have a proper good, right to file a particular place if we are not getting the perfect, if the goods are not proper, if the services are not proper, what can we do then? So till that extent, okay, we should know our rights till that extent. When everyone will know, like in this particular act, the one thing is there in this particular act, it is not saying that directly it is saying you can go and file a complaint, but practically one suggestion we always give that if a consumer comes, if there is any such type of issues, what the first step consumer will take? The first step the consumer will take is to give a notice. Give a notice to the person who has given a defective good, who has given a deficient services. So what is the role of that notice? People, the seller will be aware that all those marketing strategy will not work, because now the consumers are aware. Okay, this thing should be this message should go to the market that abhi bewkoof banana itna maine, it's not easy to make them fool. Okay, so when this will come, when we as a consumer will strengthen ourselves with all those knowledge. So ultimately now people understand those. It is not that people do not understand the strategies, because many times when we see any ad, so ye to aise hi bol raha hai, this is just like this is not actually reality. So those at those level, yes, market strategy has failed, but still in India 80% of people fall prey to that strategies without realizing that they are victimized somewhere or the other. So this is this understanding market strategy is not a one day formula. It takes time, and consumer will be aware, and they are aware, but but it requires time. It will require time to immediately take action, because many times we don't take an action. Many times we don't let also to know the other that we know, but what we have taken, we have taken. Let it be. Who will go into that particular matter? Why are we concerned? Someone else will file this matter. So in these cases, we generally avoid. And this avoiding this situation strengthens the sellers or the manufacturers. So they get a motivation. Yeah, no, there is no one to stand against us. So what we will do, the consumers will take. So we will have to break the shackle, and we will have to enter into that particular era where we can stand and we can say that no, we know our rights, and now no such marketing strategies can actually put me into any type of trouble as a consumer. So any further questions?
I have a question. Ma'am, you talked about firstly regarding the testing part, the laboratory testing.
Yes.
But ma'am, isn't it mandatory for the lab testing to be done prior to filing of the complaint itself, and the test report must
No.
And there's one more question. Let me just complete the question, and then you can guide me. The second question is with regard to the authorities that you said that that is also one thing that there is a council and there is an authority. So when we can, ma'am, what kind of matter can be taken to those authorities? Can we take consumer dispute?
Are you talking about Central Consumer Protection Authorities, which was
Yes,
taken by
ma'am.
the
Yes,
first
ma'am.
resource person, isn't it? So,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, that answer will be given by the first resource person. The first question was was put to me, filing whether laboratory testing is mandatory or not. So laboratory testing, when it is to be filed, when a complaint is filed, when the complaint is accepted, admitted, that means legally admitted by the commission, then the complainant will raise a question that this particular good according to me is defective, or this particular product is something which has created because of which I have suffered a lot, has caused me this disease. So ultimately what happened, then only the question arises that whether that good is appropriate to be consumed or not. Now how it will be determined? Then the commission will ask that, okay, then it needs a laboratory testing. So it is not before filing, it is after filing. Complaint will be filed and the procedure will be there, and in that procedure the laboratory testing will be done. Is it okay? The first have you got the first answer?
Yes, ma'am.
The
Yes, ma'am.
second portion of the question will be over to Srimanta Bordoloi. What measures can authority, can consumer disputes go to authority? Over to you, sir.
Oh, hello. Can you specifically raise the question again, please? This audio, it was the distorted voices from coming out from the
As
other
such,
side.
it's in the chat also. I'll repeat it. My question is that when we talk about certain authorities, the council and all, under the Consumer Protection Act, other than the commissions and the forums, so can we what kind of matter can be brought before those authorities? And is it can we take consumer disputes also there or not? If you could clarify.
Thank you for the question. Actually, while we are discussing in the first half, see any issue which is affecting the consumer right, and because everybody being a consumer, we want some, we pay something and we want some result from the product that we are buying, as well as that we want the service as expected and as agreed upon. Anything which is not fulfilling this condition, the then the consumer can file this grievance at any level, because these we are talking about these rights. Already we have discussed that the every consumer has the right for its safety of his product. What the product that it is buying, it must be safe. If it is effective in any way, and if it is the informations are not available related to the safety, suppose we are using a skin product, and in the skin product, even if the ingredients are not given and the quantity is also not given, that is also filing, it's giving putting its grievance. Similarly, suppose the instruction, if it is not available, that the how it can be used, then also there is also possibility of raising the complaint. Similarly, each and everything which is affecting rights of a consumer, the right to safety, right to be informed, right to be heard, everything. If it is not by the product or services, in that situation, the consumer can file a complaint at any time. And the distance, if the supplier or the service provider accepts the verbal or the written or the initial information that yes, and he or she accepts this, then in that situation, there is no question of putting the complaint. But if there is a disputes arise between the seller and buyers, if there is a dispute arise between the service providers and the buyers, in that situation, we can go to in the right forum. Otherwise, if there is a dispute, okay, I have a concern, I have raised the concern, but amicably, informally, if service provider solves problem, in that situation, there is no question is going up to the consumer protection authorities. So if it is disputes arises, then only it leads to the complaints. If there is a no dispute, then no further we should go for the further steps. So generally happens in the digital world, whenever there is a consumer comes, automatically it is resolved either by replacing or by refunding. In a organized sector, it is not a big issue. If your point is not accepted by the sellers, in that condition, if you are not satisfied with the customer's viewpoint or versions or replies, whatever it is, in that situation, you can move to the next level. I think I have touched upon your requirement as far as this particular question is
Sorry,
concerned.
because some technical issue, I just missed the point. When are we, my question is, when are we approaching those authorities? When are we, I understood the part we are going to the forums, the commissions, the district, state, and national level. But there are certain authorities under the act. When are we approaching them? That is the question.
That is what I am saying. Suppose if there is no dispute between the buyer and sellers, or if there is no dispute between the service providers and the service takers.
I understood that. Like you're saying that we can approach the authorities directly, like we have a choice to go to the consumer forum or to go to the authority with the same dispute. If
Yes,
that is
it's up to you. Already I have discussed that the complaint can be lodged by different agencies, by as an individual, by as a group of people together, or maybe the district or the state authorities, or maybe some consumer forums. Okay, it's up to us whether we'll directly approach or we should go via a second agencies. It's up to us. Saying hello, 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 hello.
Sir, it's audible, sir.
Oh, but I'm not getting the response from the other side, whether going on there or not. Difficult to. I think we should move to the next one.
Yes, sir. There is another question. Online dispute resolution. There is a question by P. Burma. He asks that online dispute resolution. Is there any online dispute resolution for consumer complaint? Online dispute resolution.
Can this question be asked by Varmana? Can
Varma.
yes, can this question be asked? Actually, this question is not clear what a person wants to ask. Can you just clear this question? Priyansha, if she is present.
Yes,
Priyansha Verma, are you present? I don't think she is present. We can move to the next one.
Is there any question? You can ask the question directly or by using the box. If there is any doubt.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
This is Aruna Ayappan from Savita School of Law. I'm actually assistant professor. So consider a scenario where a consumer purchases a faulty electronic device from a well-known retailer, well-known brand. Okay. So despite multiple attempts to repair the device, and it continues to malfunction and causing inconvenience and financial loss to the consumer. So as an advocate representing the consumer, what legal option and remedies are available to addressing that situation? And how do you advise the consumer to navigate the process of seeking compensation or refund under the consumer protection laws?
I think this question has already been answered in the entire procedure of filing a complaint if it is a deficient services. That the remedy is one, we will have to file depending upon that where a particular services has been availed, and we will have to file a
The thing is,
commission.
excuse me. The thing is, I already bought a refurbished one or the defective one. I already known that thing. But I thought the consumer thought the thing maybe it would work properly. So that's why they bought. But whether this also comes under the same provisions
No,
as
first thing, whether it is for its own use, for using it, or for reselling it, or for its that point is very important, to be within the definition of consumer. So, for what was the purpose of buying that thing? To resell it, or to do business from it, or what? Or to consume it for itself, for its use, personal use.
we can take the instance if we consumer bought the thing for their personal use. We can take in that way. But that is a refurbished one. In the case of refurbished one, whether it will apply, that's my question.
If the consumer has paid something, if he has paid, okay, then is falling within that definition. He can definitely file a complaint. If he has definitely he will have a receipt of that, or suppose he has purchased from a particular shop or somewhere, whatever the good may be, if he has paid something, a consideration, fall within the definition of consumer.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
I just want to add something. Actually, you see, generally what happens for if we take a rent of any home or for our personal use or maybe for the business use, in that situation, what we do that do lease agreement, and at the same time we take the before pictures of the condition of the at that moment, and also we give some some points in that, and accordingly after using that particular apartment or this place for longer time, when we leave that area or leave that house, then we just evaluate with the before condition. And if you see that the conditions are deteriorated, when I have got, and then now it is a big difference. The quality of the house or maybe the color has gone out, and in that situation, the security money that I deposit, it is cut by the landlord. In similar situation, suppose if we are using something which is already being used, resale product, it is advisable to do some agreement in the form of written and take the before picture and the points which are claiming by the sellers that you will get this, because end of the day we are paying for getting that service. And if we can do that, in that situation, there is a case for you in future if the quality or the expectations are not met. Otherwise, if you raise your concern, raise your complaint, then I think in a practical scenario, it is difficult to get the justice. So it is advisable to, whenever we buy something, we must do with proper representation of some documents and pictures, etc. Otherwise, it is a very difficult area of reuse product or means already sold product to claim as a consumer's rights. That is what I personally feel.
Thank you.
For an announcement. Yes, ma'am.
The thing is, so in the case we are purchasing something from the platform, some online platform, the platform itself mentioned the particular product is it's not available for replacement or anything. So that particular product I received is something defect. So in that cases, will I get any chances of getting replacement or anything? But the brand itself mentioned that this thing is not for replacement at all.
Shall I answer?
Yes, sir.
Oh, in that case, there is no point you are getting your what you call what is called the buyers aware. You know that the product will not be for any if function is not met or the expectation is not met, then you are not going to get anything as a refund or reimbursement, because it's clearly said that in the beginning the seller has informed to you. And being a buyer, I should be already discussed the question raised by the first person, that buyer should know that buyer already knows that you are not going to be reimbursed. So in that situation, I think you will not get any return if the product is having problem.
Okay, thank you.
Any question?
Sir, one question is not there. I just want to share one thing. Where I bought something from Amazon and from a website, Flipkart or something, I don't remember. So they were not returning, not replacing, and they were whatever picture they were shown in the image, that was not delivered. So there's a preference to आप cancel भी कर सकते हैं, refundable. It was refundable, but they did not refund even after giving the proper evidence, video, and that the product which you have shown on the image, it is not delivered. Customer care में बात करो, you have to talk to the customer care, you have to talk to the customer care. Every time I have screenshot the customer care's call recording and everything, which is screenshot, but they have not responded. What I did, I'm sharing you. All photographs, all audio clips, and all audio video screenshots and everything I shared on Instagram, Ministry of Electronic and Platform Acts and YouTube and everything I have shared. Immediately they responded and immediately they called me, sir, aap delete karo. I am delivering this product within 2 days. So in that way, they have worked.
That is what I have just said, that they should realize that we know our rights, and the moment consumers will strengthen themselves that yes, we know and no one can cheat us, this messages goes to them. So definitely they will be aware that no, cheating is not possible, or they have the notice of this thing, so we cannot now just take advantage of the innocence. Huh? So this is the ultimate motive of today's day. Actually, World Consumer Day is celebrated with that motive, to make people aware. So I think that formula only worked in your case, isn't it?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Important announcement is here. The feedback link is available in the chat box. Kindly fill the form. And we are in the last portion of this session, the vote of thanks. I sincere my vote of thanks to the resource person, the first resource person, Mr. Srimanta Bordoloi, to give the knowledge of various problems relating to filing grievances of consumer rights. And he very nicely explained the 4 rights to consumers provided by John F. Kennedy. And after that, he nicely explained about the 6 rights provided by the Consumer Protection Amendment Act 2019, and also explain the Central Consumer Protection Authority and e-commerce, and he covered all these areas. And I offer my sincere thanks to Mr. Srimanta Bordoloi for this wonderful session, and I offer my heartfelt gratitude to Mrs. Shilpi Gupta for enlightening the session. She nicely explained the consumer complaint jurisdiction and who can file a consumer complaint and procedure of filing consumer complaint, and the references to mediation, types of orders, and misleading advertisement and offenses and penalties. I am very much thankful to Mrs. Gupta for enlightening the session. And I offer my sincere thanks to Dr. Gautami Dattabara, Principal of Dr. RKB Law College, for her leadership and guidance to this program. And I offer my special thanks to all the participants whose active engagement enriched the program and made it a successful one. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
At the last, I can ask in one question.
For any further queries, you can email to us. Thank you. Thank you for today. Because time is over,